These people, it's unfortunate. They're supposed to be charged with the best interests of children who are going through a traumatic time in their lives, which is divorce and custody disputes. And instead of being for the children, they appear to be all for themselves and their bank accounts. They're charging exorbitant fees. Elaine Pudlowski, who's named in the suit, charged Evita Tolu $30,000 for her services to take her children from her and give them to the man they accused of abuse.
31 judges have now recused themselves from a lawsuit alleging that family court guardians and psychologists orchestrated a money-making scheme.
60-page suit is disgusting, and it's disgusts all of us.
It's starting to widen, saying this happened to me. My children were also given to an abuser. And the guardians ad litem are all the same players. And they seem to work together with a certain number of judges and a certain number of psychologists to diagnose a parent with a fraudulent diagnosis, a medical diagnosis like borderline personality disorder, and accuse that parent of parental alienation. And then they give the children, after they drain them dry, they charge them huge amounts of money. And then they take the children, they lose their children, they lose their homes, they lose everything. Daily Docket News is an anonymous newsletter. Someone, and I think maybe whistleblowers within the system, have put together what they are calling the Daily Docket News. They've been reporting on this for months, and they only send this news report through email. You can only get it through email. There's no web presence. No one knows who they are, but they are doing the work of journalism. They are doing real journalism. They are exposing court documents that are showing judges behaving terribly on the bench. There are audio recordings of judges screaming at parents, an audio recording of Judge Zellweger sending a 14-year-old to live with the man who she says molested her, and she's begging her in court, but this man molested me. Why are you making me go with him? We have judges behaving very badly in St. Louis court, and no one is looking over, presiding over them to say, hey, wait a minute, is this appropriate? Why didn't you put this girl under oath and take her testimony? Why didn't you call an evidentiary hearing to hear her out? Maybe she's telling the truth.
And letters that the writer has received anonymously from attorneys within the system who say that they're afraid to speak up because they know that this is going on and they're afraid there'll be retribution. But they talk about the fact that their concern is that some of these people appointed as guardians ad litem are poorly trained and are in many cases trying to drain the bank accounts of the parents.
If you've seen the movie on Netflix, I Care a Lot, that is based on a true story of guardians in Las Vegas who did exactly that. And April Parks is serving 40 years in prison for it. This is not a new story. Guardians ad litem have historically been put in jail for this. And I believe that we're going to see that very same thing happen in St. Louis County. The evidence that I'm uncovering, and I have reams of it, tells me that this is one of the biggest stories that I've ever seen that involving a huge number of guardians ad litem and the willful draining of people's resources.
Wow. When one of these guardians is assigned to represent the child in a custody dispute, they're paid by the parents. And in Tolu's case, who brought the lawsuit, her guardian ad litem was paid $30,000, but you highlight stories in here where these people are paid up to $80,000.
That's right. And they also can drag it out for many, many years. I've talked to one parent who was in court for 10 years. You do the math. How much is that going to be? Oh. Elaine Pudlowski has the biggest caseload of anybody I've ever seen. She had 86 different hearings on 86 different cases in the month of December. If she is making even close to $30,000 per case, you do the math.
Yes. All of these allegations are included in this lawsuit by Evita Tolu, who filed this in St.
That's an idea. We could adopt the identity. We could call ourselves Cash for Kids.
Oh, yeah, LLC. There are strength in numbers.